Now's the time to share. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Extraordinaires. We're all extraordinaires.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. Thank you, you blessed viewers or you blessed listeners. Thank you for joining us again for Extraordinary Alien. I'm your host, Terasa Livingstone. And today we have another really super duper exciting guest. I feel like I should have a bell to ring. Gosh. I've been busting to have this special guest on the show for quite some time, ever since before the show was a thing, actually. I'm going to tell you a little story.
Oh, God.
My guest doesn't even know this. So years ago, when my guest first came to Los Angeles, I thought I have to do something with her, anything. I have to get in her space. And so I came up with this idea, different to this idea that we're seeing now. But I was inspired to call it Extraordinary Alien because of her. I know. Look, if you could see her face now.
That's crazy.
This is most definitely a woman who is... Obviously, she's a woman. First guess, yes,
Twist.
You're right. She's definitely extraordinary, and I think maybe I'm still trying to figure out if she's an alien. She is like no other in so many ways. Please allow me to expound further upon why I think thus. My guest is what you might call big in Australia. She's a most beloved household name. I'm fairly certain she's best known as an actor in Australian television, in dramas, even comedies. She's one of the funniest women I know. I reckon she'd kill it at stand-up if she had any desire to kill it at stand-up at all.
Terrifying.
Because her heart and her passion is in the storytelling. However, that story best be told. And she possesses just about every talent there is available to possess in the art of storytelling. Lucky her. I think it's the stage, though. I think it's the theatre where my guest feels her blood course backwards through her veins the most.
Fact.
She's Wawa trained, Western Australian Academy of Performing Art, and she's trodden the Sydney Theatre Company boards more than four times, perhaps more than a few. The Belvoir Street Theatre and the Melbourne Theatre stages all sell out when she is cast. Among other notable roles, she's played Blanche Dubois.
I mean, it was a piece of typecasting. Get a 6-foot Amazon to play the famous waif Blanche Dubois. Natural.
She's played Julia Gillard. If you don't know who that is, feel free to Google it.
Oh, hey.
And most recently, she won a Sydney Theatre Award for Best Actress for her portrayal of Calamity Jane in the Sellout tour, which she starred in. She's written, need I go on, but I will. She's written 2 solo cabaret shows, one that caught the attention of the Edinburgh Fringe, where she travelled in 2012 to perform in the all-hallowed Spiegel tent.
Yes, ma'am.
And my guest can sure belt out a bloody good tune. She sang at our wedding.
I did.
She can sing like an angel. She sang at our wedding.
I sang you down the aisle.
Yeah, you did, girl.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you did. So she can sing like an angel, or she can tear down the house if she damn well pleases, and quite often she damn well pleases.
Wouldn't that have been weird if I just rocked out with my cock out at your wedding?
You shook me all night long. I could challenge that you would put my guest into any room, just drop her in. A room filled with any number of intellectuals, creatives, maybe some historians, a splattering of literary buffs, a couple of famous people, scientists, biologists, philanthropists, politicians. I really don't care who. Just put them in there. Because I guarantee you this enigmatic woman would not only hold her own, but at some point she's going to be holding court. She would not only be enthralled to learn something new from these clear greats, but everybody there would learn some fantastical new thing from her too, I assure you. And when she left the room, every single attendee would be in love with her or want to be her best friend. I've seen it. A room is instantly made better with her in it. I'm not the first or only one to say it. She is extraordinary like that. I'm continually inspired by this woman, and I know that you will be too. I'm so lucky I get to call her friend. Would you please make welcome Australia's own Virginia Gay?
Oh, mate. Jesus Christ. What a beautiful intro. Thank you so much. When I have crippling depression, will you come over and read that to me?
Yes, I'll frame it for you.
As a welcome treat.
Oh,
This is fancy.
wow. My husband, slash studio assistant, slash boy behind the desk.
A gourmet pop-up maker.
He's a
Look at
chef.
this.
He's hot, talented, and really great
Let's
in the
get you
kitchen.
a food truck.
He's brought fresh figs, which we stole from the tree down the alley.
Warm-baked figs.
It's a demolition yard, so I don't think anyone cares about the figs, but it's laden with ripe
Oh, my
figs.
God.
And then you've put creme fraiche and honey?
Creme fraiche and cardamom honey.
Cardamom.
Cardamom. For so long.
Because Virginia is also one of my favourite people in the world too.
Guys, I'm bloody thrilled. I'm honoured. May I?
Please
Is
have a
this the
fig.
kind of thing that you
Please
eat
have a
on
fig.
camera?
Yeah.
I think this is one of those things that is either very good first date food or very bad first date food.
Pretty sensual. I mean, it's a
They're
fig.
vagina berries.
They are. They really are.
They're Adam and Eve food.
I mean, why did you cream them up? Wilbur?
If you're watching on YouTube, it's basically a vagina she's holding in her hand.
Didn't
Treat
hold.
yourself.
Remarkable.
Warm though, isn't it?
Oh my god, that is incredible.
Oh, smell-o-vision, taste-o-vision.
I
We're
know,
heading in
right?
that direction.
This is, guys, do this podcast. You get treated really well.
One moment.
People say, also,
Oh,
you know,
good God.
you know how ASMR is a thing? You know ASMR, which is the people who talk very close.
Is that
Up on the mic.
SMR?
ASMR. I can't remember what it stands for.
Oh.
But it's a thing, and it's like bordering on a beautiful fetish for people. People love that feeling of being spoken to right here.
Oh, it's like the Zoe Kravitz ad for whatever beer that is. Have you heard it?
No.
Oh, she talks about organic beer. And then cracks the beer.
Yes.
It's the whole
that's
thing.
And it's also you can crumple things next to the microphone. Is that-
Exactly.
yeah.
Or eat like a pickle. And I just thought,
Or eat like a pickle.
for example, but I just thought, like, if you loved ASMR, you'd really enjoy us eating those figs. And if you didn't, that's quite
I'm
a
sorry.
wet, chewy way to start a podcast.
Hear people tuning out right now. Or tuning in. I mean,
tuning in.
you know, you can't please
No, you
everybody.
can't. Find your niche.
Yeah.
Stick to it.
I mean, I think we're going to cover some of that in the conversation. Let's start by saying, though, that the way that you know my husband is
Yes.
because straight out of drama school, you landed immediately a role in Australia's All Saints where my husband was already working, correct?
Yes, that is the case. And
Will
on the very first day, I was so terrified. It was March the 2nd. I can tell you the day.
What year?
2006. 2006.
I did my research.
Oh, bloody hell. I graduated in 2005. I got the job 3 days before Christmas. Like, Channel 7 called up and said, like, happy Christmas, you've got a 3-year contract with Channel 7.
Holy crap.
I went into my parents and I screamed, I'm going to be Georgie Barker. And my parents, because they're academics, went, oh, who's Georgie Barker?
Really?
Yeah, totally. It was very sweet. But I turned up on that first day. I knew nobody. I was so frightened. Straight out of drama school. I just rigid with fear.
Really?
And old mate Willie Wilbur, as I was walking back. So okay, listen. I just need to set the scene. It's in
Set it.
Epping. It's the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
The studios have been collapsed now into very nice apartments buildings.
Aw,
But it was
what?
just-
That's
yeah.
where I used to work for many years.
Yes.
They've gone.
Yeah, totally, all gone. Razed.
Shit. That's
Also,
sad.
I mean, it was such a rabbit warren, right? Because it just kept
Yeah.
having bits and bits built on after
Yeah.
it. Also, I think it was filled with asbestos. You know, it was built during that time.
Yeah,
I hope it was
you're
safely
probably
dealt
right.
with, right? But so I had gotten there by public transport. I think at this stage, I actually had only just learnt to drive and I wasn't trusting myself. And I was walking out from my first day and I was just like, the rain had started and I was walking back down to Epic train station, which was like half an hour's walk away. And Wilbur pulled up in a car with a little peak cap on and went, you, get in. And I was like, oh, you know me? You trust me? It's like, yeah, get in.
You're part of the family now.
And on the way down into, I think you dropped me at the train station. I was like, oh, we started a friendship that has now lasted 156 years. Is that correct?
7, I thought.
That is it.
I could
That is
remember
it. The plastic surgery here is
Bless.
great. It's so subtle. That's what's great about it.
Rejuvitox.
Yeah.
Let's get it all.
Let's do it. Start at my eyebrows and work your way down.
Are you? I'm for it.
Oh yeah. Listen, I think in the future we'll consider this time at that time in the way that everybody was like hair dyeing. Do you know how like when hair dyeing started?
Yeah.
I don't know when that was, but I'm going to say confidently the 30s.
Sure.
Let's say that.
Let's do it.
People were like, oh my God, what a way to lie. What a way to, treat your body. What a way to fuck with your body and your age. I just think that this will be the next thing where we're like in the moment of flux, like, how could you? And then like 5 years from now, everybody be like, yeah, I started my daughter on it. Yeah.
You go down the cafe and get your wheatgrass shot and a Botox shot.
In England, you can get them like basically everywhere. I know this because my friend.
Trust that.
I don't. Yeah, no. Listen, I'm not sure I'd love it, but my friend is a super responder. My friend's a super responder, and I saw her one day after she got like a backyard Botox injection, and she looked like she'd had a stroke. She just had it was full palsy down one side of her face because they'd gone to the nerve, and she was a super responder.
Stop it.
I know, right?
What's a super responder?
I mean,
Someone.
it does what it says on the tin. Responds in a super
way.
super strong way.
I was thinking that, but I worked it through in my mind and thought that must be what it means.
That's marriage.
Yeah. We respond pretty super.
I actually don't know.
I'm sorry, what's the question,
To,
desk
like,
person?
responding to everything, like aphrodisiacs or...
Yeah. Or your Panadol. I'm numb.
She's very cheap
What did you take? A Panadol.
Fort.
Americans don't know Panadol.
Steady on.
Tylenol. A Tylenol, right? That's the American name.
Aspirin.
Oh, aspirin.
Aspirin.
There's vagina berry then.
Thank you so much for bringing the vagina berries.
Sure.
So, not long after you did All Saints.
Yes.
I think I pretty much, covered how marvelous you are and how much, non-stop work you've had being in Australia. I want to talk about, because I think what's interesting, let's say we're someone at home in Australia, some young girl who reminds us of us, when we were in our 20s.
Gets better. I promise you. I am so sorry if
And
you're
then
in
it
your
gets
teenage
a
years
little
now.
shit, and then it gets better again, and
Yeah.
it gets a little shit, and it's
Yeah.
still better. It's...
But everything's better than your teenage years. I promise you.
Yeah.
Right? Or did you have good? Did you have good teenage years?
It might be, veiled in a little bit of my
Experiences?
innocent joy.
Oh,
I'm a little naive.
innocent joy is a lovely thing.
Yeah. So even when things were kind of shit, I had ponies and, puppies and living in the country, and I would go look at butterflies. It was ridiculous.
Also, I've got to say, everybody who I've ever met who grew up in the country is pretty well. What's the word? Well
Adjusted.
adjusted.
Yeah.
Like, there's something about like sending kids out and running them for like 6 hours a day.
Absolutely.
Like go.
Yeah.
Also, learn what kills you. Don't eat most of the berries, but some of them will be fine. Good luck.
It's so true. It's so true. The amount of snakes and terrible, dangerous things that we came upon.
I ate snakes on the farm.
Ate them.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
You ate snakes on your farm?
We would kill the snakes and fire roast them and eat them.
Listen, that is sustainable. That's
His
smart.
mum would skin rabbits in front of him.
I mean,
She's
the
a
skin comes off just like
She taught me how
pajamas.
to kill a pig.
It's true.
Oh,
Taught you how to kill a pig.
You've got to,
Yeah.
not about me, but
Are you sure? I want to know.
you've got to bleed a pig first
Oh, God.
to keep the meat clean.
I mean, this is what we should be knowing so we can all be vegans.
So you plunge a knife. This is way off topic.
Yep.
Plunge a
Into
knife
its
into the...
heart and then let it bleed and then you kill it.
Great. Sounds a bit like my career. Just plunge a knife right into...
Until I bleed
Until I
out.
bleed.
Tell you what, clean meat.
It gets
though.
better. Jesus. She's a bit chewy.
Oh, shit. That's going to be great. That's going to be really great.
That made me cry.
With joy. Innocent joy.
With joy. Innocent joy, thank you. Really nice, clever way to bring it all the way back around.
That's all I got for you.
But if someone wants to come to America,
yeah.
like you've learned a bit, we've learned a bit. You know, not only about, you know, take fountain, the good old advice. Do you remember the advice?
Take fountain.
Oh, I should forget who the fucking actress is. Her name is Katherine Hepburn. Thank you. When she was in her Alzheimer's days, she's in an interview with fucked if I know who. It's a very famous line. What's that?
Parkinson's.
Parkins.
Is that what the head chef?
Well, she's being interviewed by Parkinson.
Get out.
Could be.
Everybody get out.
Could be. Oh, Parkinson's she had, I understand. Right, not Alzheimer's. I don't know enough about either of those two to know the difference.
Well, you've got two ex-fake medical professionals in the room, so you're welcome.
They played doctors on television,
We
so
did.
we're good to go. He will come to people's aid with that.
I mean, there are terrifying stories about thinking that we know what we're doing.
Can we go to that next?
Oh, fuck,
Great.
yes.
So just bookmark that in your brain.
I'll write it down.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much. There's a little pen and paper right there.
Yes.
But she's famous for saying the interviewer, who is Parkinson or whoever, but someone said, what advice would you give for, you know, young starlets coming to America? What advice would you give coming to Hollywood? And she
Yeah.
said, take Fountain.
And what is that?
It's a street. How to get into Hollywood. Yeah, advice for how to get into Hollywood. Take Fountain.
That's
Amazing.
delightful to
Yeah.
me. I
It's-
was totally lost as to what she was meaning. I thought it was.
I think my
kind of
setup was shit.
No.
Trying to get into Hollywood. What advice for young starlets trying to get into Hollywood? Take Fountain.
Yeah,
It's
I
genius.
just thought it was like a numbing agent or something.
How's that ointment? Cleared that right
I feel nothing anymore. I love Fountain.
Just before an audition.
Yeah.
It's going to squirt that right down.
If you're a super responder.
That's true. It's true. Just Bonjela. Do they have Bonjela here?
Oh, for your
Yeah, for
gum
your
nums.
gums. Num gum.
Bit of a num gum.
What did you call me?
I've had worse.
Which?
So to the stories about you two being.
Ex-fake nurses.
Ex-fake nurses.
So he's an ex-fake doctor.
Tell me your funny story.
Have you been the whole three things?
Sorry, I've
because
got
you know
a
there's
snotty
a
nose.
Oh, leave us sweet.
Gosh, I think I'm allergic to my dogs who's lying on my lap.
So Will's just told us that he's been a lawyer, a cop, and a doctor, which is the trifecta. That's it. Once you've done those three, just
What then?
retire. Then you start cycling
Gets
again.
better.
It's Satan.
You could play Satan. You'd be what a charming Satan you'd
Didn't you
be.
play a vampire in like your year 10 make a television show? Did you play a vampire there? Werewolf.
He nods his head yes.
Silent head nod.
Oh.
We've got the
I've
footage.
never seen him being so vocal because he's his best mates here.
It's true. Hi, mate.
Tell me the story.
I will tell you some great stories about Willie Wilbur too and what his friendship has done for me as well. But I'll tell you those stories too. But I will also tell you about being an ex-fake nurse. The best story I have about being an ex-fake nurse is that we were at a party, a winter wonderland party.
Oh dear.
Yes, where somebody had basically slit open a series of
Bean bags.
Yeah, totally.
But they just stick to you.
They absolutely do. They are
Amazing.
static nightmares. And our beautiful friend, like everybody was drinking very heavily. It was a midwinter wonderland party. You know, there was mulled wine. We were drunk. And somebody was making snow angels on the floor and one got in their ear.
A little ball.
A little ball got in their ear. And the more he dug at it, the further it went in and the more he dug. And me, in the clarity of being that drunk, I went, everybody relax. I'm an ex-fake nurse. Bring him to me. And we held him down. I was like, I need lights.
You pulled your toothpick out of your martini and went in for operation.
I can only do it with one hand because I got to hold my drink. But I was like, I am going to need, we need tweezers. I'm going to need you to sterilize those tweezers. Run them
Lights.
under the hot water. Exactly. We had somebody holding a light and we held him down like
And
it
it
was
happened.
surgery being done in like the 1800s. I was like, I'm sorry, but you hold his legs. He can't kick. And as I was going in with the tweezers, I went to get the ball, and of course, because it was covered with earwax, I couldn't get traction on it, and I pushed it further into his ear. And as that happened, I went, oh, this could end very badly. Just in my brain, that was when I went, oh, God, what the fuck am I doing?
Fake. The word fake in fake
I
nurse. I just remembered.
And then I was like, oh, wait a minute, it was 4.5 years. I reckon I can do this again. And I went in, and I got underneath it very gently. And as I started to pull it out, he started to make this incredible noise. He was like, oh, and I was like, oh, and then everybody in the room was like, oh, and we were like, oh. It was incredible. Then we danced around the room.
That's amazing.
Thanks.
Well done.
Thanks, guys. Please.
Nothing fake about your nursery.
I removed stitches from a man's head in Brooklyn.
Wow.
That is a much better story.
Wow.
I told him I was a fake doctor, and he said, "Yeah, well, do it." Because he didn't want to pay for the doctor.
This is what fame does. They'll believe anything.
That's incredible. So you cut them and pulled them out, and then
At a cafe in.
at a cafe.
Yes, that's all right. In a cafe.
Yeah, I told you this story.
Yes, yes. I was just as amazed as I am now, hearing it for the first time. I'm like a goldfish. You could tell me anything 4 years ago, and what happened?
Do you know generally almost all of my favourite people are goldfishes?
Oh, why is that?
I don't know because
You
I'm
have such a memory.
an iCloud, and almost all of my favourite people are goldfishes. I truly am. Like,
So explain the iCloud to
oh
me,
my
would
God.
you please?
So Melanie Vallejo is my best example of a goldfish.
Who
So-
you were in Winners and Losers with, an Australian
yes,
TV show.
and she was basically like my Will on Winners and Losers.
Oh,
we just
look at
like
you, aren't you lucky?
fell in love. Fell in friendship love, and she's got like it's a 2-second memory. And she's the most beautiful, radiant person in the world, but she's always excited to hear your stories again. But I have the thing too where she'll be like, oh, anyway, and then what happened? And I'll be like, oh, it was a Thursday. It was a Thursday and it was raining. And you said, no, stick with me. You said, and then like we'll quote her verbatim.
Her story.
It's her story. I have kind of shitty memories from my own stories.
Wow.
But when I love someone that solidly, I become their iCloud and they can ask me what they did and where were they that summer and why were we all in New York?
So I wonder if she would say the same thing about most of her good friends, because most of my good friends are iCloud, so I feel like a numb gum.
No, but what you can't have everybody being an iCloud. You need some goldfishes to the iCloud and vice versa.
Well, I mean, sign me up. I'm in.
I'd be on it. I'd be bloody on it.
I love it. Oh, your little Virginia brought a dog in too. Well, I have a dog on my lap.
Hey, babe.
As if on cue.
I know, right?
That's Walter.
Hey, Walter, you're
That's
right,
Patrick Bramwell and Harriet Dyer's little sweet Chiweenie Wawa.
Weenie Wawa, part Chihuahua, part
Harry
wiener dog.
Peck, you know, from episode Fill in the Blank.
I know, right? He played a guy with high level autism on All Saints.
Oh, Patrick.
Right? Yeah, Patrick Bramwell.
Sorry, I'm
That's the
catching
first
up
time I
here.
met him and worked with him.
They're lovely people.
But this, oh my God, this dog. Oh my God.
You've never had dogs?
I was a cat person growing up. It's just, you are just
As
whatever
you
your
do.
family
Sure.
has when you're that age. And I was like, oh, I'm a cat person. This dog.
He transformed you. There'll always
has.
be one.
It's
You always
true.
remember you're one.
Walter's like a gateway drug. Now I am the person at dog parks who's like, what's your dog's name? Lick me all over.
The best.
Well, not only dog parks.
That's just a Tuesday.
Oh my God.
No, you see why I love it.
What time is this podcast going out? Is it after 7:30 on
It's
network?
never the
We'll be
wrong
fine.
time for you, Virginia.
Bless you.
Honestly.
It's the middle of the day.
Yes. And I'm sweating. What's going on? It's like, who ate all the pies?
Oh, no, it's this. It's just clothes.
We got
there,
a lot
isn't
of
it?
lights.
Also, yeah, these
We got a lot
It's
of
a very
lights.
fancy setup.
So I want to go talk to, because I think it's really important, all of my guests so far have been men. No disparagement against men, but I'm very excited to have a woman so we can talk about, some women's
Period.
issues. Yeah, exactly. As my husband likes to call them, your fleas. You got your fleas.
Please,
It's
why?
do you want to hear that story?
Yeah.
Okay. So white sheets. We sleep with our dogs. I don't apologize for it.
Oh.
I've had boyfriends who have said it's me or the dogs, and I've said, well, don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. So the dogs sleep with me. They're like taking place of the dollies that I had when I had my puppies and my ponies. Not that I slept with my ponies. I would have if I could have. No word of a lie.
That is very delightful. So warm, so big. We'll need a California king for this.
Yeah, exactly. But what about all the cows? And so the fleas,
If they have
and
fleas.
if they chew them, and the little blood pop on the
spots.
thing, and
your fleas.
sometimes if it's that time,
makes total
and
sense.
I would go, it's the fleas. He'd go, it's not the fleas. I'm like, mate, it's the fleas, and we're gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. So you got your fleas.
Oh, yeah, I really respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
So straight into the women's issues.
I don't have my fleas at the moment, just in case you were wondering. In case Australia was wondering. In case the world was wondering.
I think mine's disappearing early. I'm in that.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Right.
We were trying to have, it's the baby thing. And,
Yeah, right.
You know, that's a
Yeah.
conversation I was going to, get onto about.
Shit, yeah.
What do you do here? How do you time your family around this career where you're supposed to be skinny and hot from the time,
Yeah.
you can say ASMR?
Yeah, it's a real wild time to start again in your mid-30s. Like, because there are certain biological imperatives that also start making their appearance felt in your mid-30s.
You feel like you're starting again? I think I was starting again.
Again. And listen, I mean, that's a scary sentence, but also,
Is it?
what an incredible feeling to go like, starting again. Like,
Right.
Fresh.
Yeah.
Clear.
I mean, we're not dead yet.
We're not fucking dead yet.
It's
We're a long way off.
It's a
that.
long way off. They're
Yeah.
keeping us like alive a lot longer.
I know.
before.
I know.
So why can't we start again? I don't see why. I've been reawakened to understanding that the path that I thought was, this age you do this career, this age you do
Yes.
that job, this age
Yeah.
you do the next job, then you meet your man, then you meet your baby, then you buy your house, then you
Yeah,
meet your
yeah,
baby.
yeah.
I mean, you could just meet your baby.
I mean, why not? Why not? It's a way.
That's a way.
Yeah.
That's not how it goes. It just isn't anymore. And it shouldn't have to be felt like that's the only way.
I strongly agree with that. Can I tell you that I was recently in New Mexico
Do it.
and there was a beautiful piece of pottery that we went to a feast day in a pueblo in Santa Clara. And there was this incredible woman selling her incredible pottery that takes her like 4 months to pick away with a needle. It's with
One
the most,
piece.
Yeah, with the most intricate and beautiful designs. And she said one of the designs on this piece of pottery, which reader I bought, was a bear claw trail. And my beautiful friend Christina O'Neill and I were there, and we were like, "What does the bear claw trail mean?" And she said, "It's just a reminder that the pathway never goes straight. A bear claw is a bit like when you see the bear claw trails, they're always weaving. They're taking little digressions, little tangents. They're going up here, they're doubling back, they're coming around." Both Chrissy and I were like, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
It's not just one way straight forward.
Yeah.
It's weaving and strange, and you find other exciting little adventures.
Yes.
And other skills and other I
Yes.
really loved that. So I was like, take my money. Wonderful lady.
Well, that's what when he plays games, video games.
Yeah.
His favorite thing to do is to get lost in a world.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm really inspired by that, to
Yeah.
get lost in your world and
Yeah.
find. I've always been a big advocate of, even though you think your path is your path, I'm happy to go, because I believe you have to go for a goal and strive for that thing, because you never know that you'll be like this new other option will be revealed, and you're like, oh, that's why I wouldn't have found it if I hadn't have gone there.
Absolutely
It has
right.
to be, just go forward with passion,
Yes.
and all these leaves will blossom in front of you, sometimes behind you.
Absolutely. And it's okay to go back and look at the leaves and behind you and to do all of that stuff. Yes, I agree. Somebody else was saying, there was such a wonderful quote, a beautiful quote about somebody, she was in her 80s and she was still doing things. And somebody says, what's the key to that? And she said, stay interested.
Yep.
I was like, yes.
Because then you're interesting.
Yeah. And you've got something to wake up for in the morning.
Yeah.
A hunger, a passion, something to investigate, something to learn. What a thrill.
Interested is the term too. A lot of people want to be interesting,
Yeah.
but you cannot do that.
No, you
It's
can't.
it's not
You can't-
attainable.
You can't create it.
That's right.
You can only be interested.
Interested.
And maybe somebody will find you interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that
Ooh,
is
that's true.
right.
She delivers the truths.
No, but you did that. That's
clarified.
the message for young women.
Stay interested. Get interested.
Get
Stay
interested, get involved. Do you
Yeah,
more
yeah.
than anything? You cannot be interesting. It's not interesting.
Yeah, it just reads as fake too. It's like
It's
that
so
thing.
shallow.
How many times have people told you, "Oh, just be confident, be yourself"?
Oh,
and
great.
it's always
Thanks.
yeah.
Just have fun with it. Go fuck yourself.
It's totally. It's so insane to do, especially the confidence thing, because when people are faking confidence,
Oh, no.
you can fucking smell it.
I've done it
I know we've all done it.
and
you know?
gone, what is that?
Yeah.
I feel like I want to vomit.
Hey,
Nothing's going
hi,
right.
good morning. How are you? I'm so great.
Oh.
No, terrifying.
And everything then falls apart around you.
Totally.
Conversations,
Yeah.
electric.
Yeah. Because you're
It's
too
just-
busy
there's no
lying,
flow.
basically.
That's
Exactly.
right.
Exactly.
That's right.
But it is true that the thing that is very captivating is being yourself and being confident. But you cannot fake it. It has to You have to have earned it and discovered it in ways that you can't explain.
Right.
But you just get then to the point where you're like, oh no, I'm completely comfortable in this room. Great. I don't know anybody here. Excellent. Cool. Great. What's your name? Brilliant. Oh my God, amazing. Great hair. This,
It's like meditation, actually, because you don't know you're in that spot until you're in that spot. And then when you're in that spot and you go, oh, I'm in that spot.
Yeah.
Then you drop off it and you go, how do I get back to that spot? Let's be interesting. So it's like this elusive little carrot that runs ahead of you, and
It's
all you
so
can
true.
do is just
Yeah.
not think.
Yeah. And then
Somehow.
sometimes then just like a bunch of carrots land in your lap. And then you're like,
I got so many carrots.
And then the carrots go.
Yes, because you can't be excited about the carrots.
Can't be excited about the carrots. Can be excited about the figs though.
That transparent dangling carrot, that Alanis Morissette line, I always loved it. Remember, thank you? Those transparent dangling carrots. I was like, yes. Naomi Watts said this thing as well that I always loved. And I'm going to paraphrase because I can't remember, but I've always... Remember when she did Mulholland Drive?
Yes.
And she'd been a
She's been a yoga teacher for 12 years here in Hollywood, right?
Yeah, exactly. Doing fuck all.
Yeah.
And wondering why. And then she got this Mulholland Drive and, she's got an interview and she was being interviewed because of that thing. And I remember she was saying the hardest thing is that not to lose your shine. Because it's your shine is the thing that gets tarnished when you're trying and trying and trying and
taking
auditioning
rejection after
and
rejection,
and the
rejection,
no
yeah.
and the no for no apparent reason why.
Yeah.
And it's your shine is the thing that they're going to hire you for. So she's like, that's the hardest thing that I ever did was to somehow never lose the access to the shine.
That's extraordinary. And if she could bottle how people didn't lose the access to
Do you
their
have any
shine.
idea how to do that for yourself? I'm still trying to figure it out.
How to not lose your shine? I mean, God, because it's that thing that if you can do it naturally and comfortably, it's very attractive. But again, if you're trying
It's
to
a
do
veil.
it, yeah,
It's-
exactly.
yeah.
It's kind of aggressive and awful, like people who are hopelessly and baselessly optimistic, which comes. Actually, listen,
From desperation.
yeah, and reads as kind of, I suppose, naive but I mean, I think optimism is a really good thing and a really valuable thing. But it's true again when
If it's
when
not,
you're-
if it's authentic.
exactly, if you're really like, yeah, great, but this like, yep, it's just coming, it can be very tiring to be in a room with.
It's an American thing to do.
Yeah,
I do love it. Like you go to Vegas, for instance, and they're like, oh, we're thinking of building a dinosaur park, and they're like, great, let's start it. And they're very willing.
yeah.
But I have found it hard to find the line in between where it's like, what's practical and what's just,
What's
bullshit.
not serving you because you're not actually hearing what the world's giving you? Or I mean, again,
it's a tough one.
it is a tough one.
It's a beautiful thing to be around such positivity because Australia, we are pragmatists.
We are pragmatists, bordering on cynics, some might say.
I mean, you said it.
I mean.
It's true.
But yeah,
so
I
it is
suppose-
refreshing.
I suppose
But it's tough.
What is the important sentence there is what's not serving you. So
Yeah.
if optimism is serving you, and if created optimism is serving you, then great.
Yep.
But if
yep.
it's not, if anything in your life is not serving you and
Absolutely.
it's not serving other people, then
You
you've
have
got
to
to
look at
learn a
it.
way to strip it back, to find something else.
I feel like your writing is a way for you to really keep your shine.
Oh, that's a nice point.
Don't
That's
you
a
think?
really lovely point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have been, my whole life, I have been saying to myself, oh, God, if only I
only.
had time to do the things, the other things
Be
that I'm
careful
interested
what
in.
you wish for.
Exactly, right? And so I was trying to think about having no structure in my days for the first time.
Welcome to Los Angeles.
I know, right? And it's a real responsibility to go, all right, so what do you do with your days? Yeah, especially because, as we all know from being on television sets, you are structured down to the minute.
Yeah, yeah.
And the show, like the morale of the crew and how well the show feels like it's going is dependent on being structured down to a minute and everybody respecting time and everybody, on TV sets, they tell you when you can shit. They tell you when you've got your 10-minute toilet break as opposed to the
I
one
don't
where you
unless
just,
they give me the word.
Is this still the case? Does Will go, now?
Yeah. Poopy time, baby.
Will's just shaking his head silently. Sure.
Yeah.
So I tried to really reframe that, and I think reframing is a really useful thing to think about, not to think about.
Yeah, that's a
all
nice
this
term.
time to go like
reframe.
All this time.
That's a good word.
And it's my responsibility to use that time and to use it in a way that nourishes me, that offers things to other people.
Yeah.
It's difficult in this world, of course, too, because you're waiting on outside stimuluses. You're waiting on outside requests. You're waiting on outside auditions.
You mean work, auditions, jobs?
Which means that you have no control.
Right.
So the best way I have found in the months that I've been here to own a day is to go, okay, so this is me saying I have agency over this day. What are you going to do? How are you going to break it down?
Do you schedule yourself?
Yeah, I try and tick off things every day. So every day I try and exercise. Every day I have to go out in the sunshine.
There's a certain
non-negotiables.
Negotiables,
Yes,
that's the word.
absolutely. Every day it's my responsibility to call somebody who I love and who nourishes me and whose friendship we nourish each other.
And connect.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's my responsibility to eat good food and not just and not just binge. Like there's that beautiful thing about talk to yourself as you would talk to a 5-year-old that you're fond of. Like,
yes.
And treat yourself like a 5-year-old. Like, have you run around outside today? No, that's probably why you're irritable. Have you eaten any vegetables today? No, that's probably why you're not feeling good in your body. You know, like, think about yourself. Have you played today? Have you had enough play?
Right.
No, then go into the playroom
Absolutely.
and play.
Look at that butterfly out
Yes,
there.
totally. Lose yourself in that butterfly.
Wow. My 5-year-old here is like, why do you look like you've eaten all the pies in that outfit?
Stop. I will not have that self-talk.
It's so naughty.
I will
It's
not
so naughty and it's not okay.
It's not healthy self-talk.
It's not, but you catch yourself.
Yeah, it's true.
You catch yourself.
But that's it. That's the way with all habits, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we've learnt habits for whatever reason because they served us at some point.
Yeah.
And you have to be aware of the habit, acting on yourself and going, does this serve me now? Or is it time
To that point,
Yes.
I think what's important, and one of the things that I talk about quite a lot. Sorry, I'm throwing things around. Is I think it's a great tool in everything across the board to be able to have a moment where you notice that you're speaking to yourself that way. Notice that it is your habit.
Yeah.
Notice that you could notice it.
Yeah.
And then do the next thing, which is replace it with something else.
Exactly.
Instead of leaving it going, oh, well, that's my habit. What it doesn't do is give you a tool to change it.
Yes.
So to put that thing in its place where
Exactly.
it's like,
That's it.
oh,
That's the
little
next step.
little Ginny,
Yeah.
why don't you go for a play? I love that.
Right?
Put something, do an action that replaces it so that becomes a habit.
Yes, exactly. And we all know what it takes a month to make
But
a new habit,
this
right?
that's not a thing that is like,
And it's not as easy as it sounds, of course.
It's
because
not.
Habits are habits for a reason. They get
and
in.
we are very, very headstrong within our own selves, aren't we?
are. You and me particularly. Look at
Unlike
us.
Pretty Woman, the bad stuff's easier to believe.
That's good.
Remember?
Pretty Woman always for me is just a big mistake. Huge.
Huge. You work on commission, right? She just waltzes in.
Every time I walk down Rodeo Drive.
Have you been to Yes?
Yeah.
Have
I
you
just
been?
say to
Did you
myself,
go?
Big mistake. Huge.
Bev, Reg, Will.
Yes,
Got it.
Right.
For $50, your wife can watch. So good.
Spit out that gum.
Yeah, it's bigger
Love
than
it.
the blue
Love it.
banana.
It's so good.
So good. I love that movie so much.
And that, I mean, listen, it might have dated in some ways.
You think so?
I mean, the old hooker with a heart of gold. It's been around for a while. But that beautiful fucking feminist line at the end where he says, what happens after the prince saves her? She saves him right back. I remember
I
that
just
as a...
got goosebumps.
Yes. I remember as a kid watching that and being like...
Full goosebumps. It's true.
It's a good line.
It's so good.
And it's also a surprising line in a movie in the late 80s, early 90s about...
where she's playing a prostitute.
Exactly. That's a real... I remember that as a feminist moment in my body going,
Yeah.
that's right. She's not just an object in this story.
True.
She's the subject. She's doing lots of great stuff.
Lots of great stuff. And as an actress, like...
Fuck, she is good. She's so good.
She is able... those are my favorites where there's that real... And people have said this about you too. The same qualities that you would say that Julia Roberts in that movie, for one example, like when you read your electronic press kit, which is really quite impressive, but there's a lot of really great critiques that are said about you, and they're all, you know, talking about that same thing where you're able to not only be like brassy and ballsy, but very vulnerable and very sexy and very like, you know, have access to your ingenue and your innocence.
Oh, that's so beautiful. That's a lovely thing to say.
It must be hard to do that. You're playing a prostitute.
Yeah, right.
Who's putting herself through college, you know, but you're also trying to not be a complete tart.
Yeah, totally.
But be so charming.
Yeah, totally. Be charming and too.
And that's what you did in Calamity Jane.
Oh, thanks, mate. She's my favourite kind of character, I realise now, which is
she's a pioneer feminist.
She is a pioneer feminist, I'll fucking tell you that. But she's the kind of character who used to be on the outskirts. Like, she used to be the second character. So it used to be the two ingenues in the middle and then the wacky best friends. And what is so...
In movies of the day, in the 50s.
Totally. In fact, honestly, from Shakespeare. You know what I mean? Like, it's a standard kind of trope. And what Calamity did is that it kind of swapped that. So it put the two weirdos at the centre and said, haven't you always wanted to spend more time with the clowns and the wacky best friends? Haven't you always wanted them? Haven't you always wanted to see their inner life?
Yes.
And to see them be vulnerable and to see them be expansive? I think that's part of it. It's that they're always the most interesting characters.
Yes.
So put them at the centre of the
they're so
narrative.
flawed.
Exactly.
So good.
And because they're the ones that we were always so magnetically drawn to in those stories of two ingenues meeting and falling in love.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, when's the best friend coming back on?
Yeah.
'Cause she's fun or he's fun. They're fun. So I love that idea of taking a clown role and then going, what happens to the clown role when the ingenue story is happening off stage? You know what I mean? Like, let's let the camera follow them. I love it. I just love it.
Are they the roles that you're most wanting to do while you're here? Right?
Yeah. Weirdos and outsiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had a very lucky run. I mean, Will and I, we started together. I mean, I honestly never thought I would be mainstream. Never, ever.
Because why, though? You're so talented.
I think I had always cast myself as the wacky best friend. And I think in drama school, I loved character work, and I was always happy to play the 40-year-old maid, the 80-year-old maid, and the poorly adapted male part.
So much more fun.
It's more fun. It's more interesting.
Yeah.
And I also think, I'm not a traditional looker. Like, I've got very strong features. I'm nearly 6 foot tall. I always thought I was built for the stage. I know. I exaggerate slightly because it sounds more amazing, but I'm like... I'm 5'11". Yeah, I'm 6'7". I'm a basketballer.
Among other things.
Okay. I'm so bad at sports, though. I can't even tell you.
Really?
Somebody the other day, took me to a bar and was like, "You'd be great at pool." I was like, "Oh no, sir, you have misread me." oh no. Do I give off that vibe? He was like, "Yeah, like a total pool shark." I was like,
"Really?
Oh no.
No, incorrect.
If you want to play charades, babe, sit down.
Yeah, exactly.
I will fucking show you charades.
Exactly right.
But pool.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
You got a bit of a wobbly wrist there, mate.
Is that how you do it? Oh, it's like a javelin to me.
That's funny.
That was the only thing I did at school.
Oh,
that was the only sport I
javelin.
did. I was a shot
You
putter.
chucked things.
I was a shot putter. Look at these fucking
I
shoulders.
mean, look at the size. I mean, they've both got swimmers' shoulders. My husband and Virginia have broad.
We really do. We're Amazons. How dare you? State champion.
Yeah.
I went to regionals and I was pretty pleased with that.
Aww.
I never learnt
State
the
championships. I didn't become a state champion.
No, this is how rumours start, Wilbur.
Yeah, I'm 6'9".
He's 6'9", and he is the world's most professional shot putter. The world's most professional too is not the sentence. Like, he turns up on time. He's always wearing a suit.
Yeah, exactly. Such a professional shot putter.
He would never harass you. So
Well.
professional. So professional.
I mean,
Wilbur, did you learn the spin?
I did try the spin. It didn't work for me.
I know, right? I feel like I didn't. I mean, I went to a performing arts high school, so the fact that I was doing anything sporty at all was astonishing to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just chucked it. Basically, I chucked a rock. That's what I did to get me to regionals.
and you did really well at it.
Oh, that's
You
good.
didn't just chuck it. You like
I know, I sort of, because you go in the circle.
There's a big steel ring.
I can't believe we have never spoken about this before. This is hilarious. Yeah, you go in the circle, and then I just went real far down, and then I just. I can't go any further.
Yes, I'm sorry. You're tethered to the headphones
So
and the
it looks
microphone.
like I'd be terrible.
Also, you just discovered something about yourself that's even deeper connection.
Not so good.
Discus.
Discus.
I want
I did the circle in.
Yeah. Well, you've got to.
That looks
because
hard.
Centrifugal force. Is the discus the one on the chain?
Centrifugal.
Yeah.
Centrifugal?
That's the hammer.
The hammer.
How do you say it? Centrifugal?
Oh,
Centrifugal.
it's dun da 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 motion. It's dun da 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 this. It's centrifugal motion. Yeah.
Right.
Centrifugal.
How,
I think it might be like one of those.
is that the technical song, though? Is that
Centrifugal and
centrifugal motion?
It's centrifugal motion. That's how you learn all words. Right?
Kiss.
Unthinkable.
Yes, this is the kiss. So good.
Unthinkable. Yeah, you got to work it up. Spin. Let go.
I was a high jumper.
That's impressive.
My husband just
He did snort.
and burst out laughing.
How high did you get?
I mean, I'm not very, but I did very well in my very small school.
Is it because did Will snort like that? Because what height are you?
I'm 5'4" in heels, probably.
Oh, little cutie. Little cutie. Well,
Yeah.
you know what that says to
Okay,
me? You have
Jack's
great
bum.
skill and great power because you didn't have a natural advantage in height.
No, I don't know how I got any jump. I have zero bounce in me now. Fucking hell. I can't jump to reach the bloody coffee cup out of the top thing.
Wheelbarrow. Well, you've got this human ladder over
Yeah.
here.
The human ladder. Dun, 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 dun,
Here's what,
dun.
while Will is here, can I tell you the story of
Yes, let's do the story.
I want to, the thing that I learned on All Saints from Wilburn, from our friendship, was that, and I never knew it before, and it properly changed my practice and it changed who I thought I was as a person, was that you could fail and still be loved. And in fact, the vulnerability of failing could mean that you were loved more, which sounds like fetishizing failure, which it isn't. But I just, honestly, every time I had ever like fluffed a line or anything in the past, I would get so angry with myself and I get so furious, and my little perfectionist prefect soul would be like, you fucking idiot, you can't do this, really like terrible self-talk. And what Will's friendship taught me was that when I would fuck up a line and Will was on set, he'd just throw these not even like tolerant kind eyes, these like mischievous, delighted eyes. He'd be the perfect audience, but also like the perfect trampoline.
Yeah.
Like we would just spring back out of each other, and then we would just play and play and play. And
He reframed you.
he
Reframe.
absolutely fucking reframed me. And the best game
Oh,
that we
goody.
ever
What's
played-
this?
Oh my God, it's going to be such a visual game. So we're going to use this, and I'm sorry that the sound's going to go out.
Try and explain it. so
Okay,
that- yeah.
I'll explain it. Yes, great.
Visually.
So the game is you have to go bedroom eyes, walk into the door frame, recover with bedroom eyes.
Yeah. It's as you're leaving a room.
As you're leaving a room.
You're leaving this bedroom
Yeah,
lines,
so you finish the scene. And
So you do this physically on set,
Yeah.
so the other one could see you.
Totally. And again, we've
Okay.
never like...
Do you want to take your headphones off?
Yeah.
Yeah, do it. Okay, great.
Okay, so the camera
Now you've got to
is-
watch YouTube.
Totally. The camera is whoever would be in the scene with me.
Yeah.
It's the recovery.
Funny.
Oh my God, it was such heaven. And it was just all games all the time. But the power of
great.
vulnerability,
Yes.
being seen by
And
somebody who you loved and trusted. Play. And that's it. Then it took all of the horror away from failure
Yeah.
and all of this self-disgust away from failure, and it just became a part of the game. And in fact, it became like that. It became the most exquisite part of the game. Make a game where failure is a part of the game.
So the vulnerability
such a
and the
treat.
innocence that we have when we're a kid, but like
Yeah.
we're so like desperate to get rid of, is the values that we should be bringing into our work life. How we survive through these days of no's.
Yeah.
How we survive in our creativity
Yeah.
is through playing with yourself.
I didn't realise it was this kind of a podcast.
I
Is that what this is?
popped my head off. It hurt so much.
You're a treat.
Ow! And sane. I was about to say then play with others.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that almost hurt my head. you get the
I
general
know
idea.
exactly what you mean.
To go-
Absolutely right.
I love this. This
Yeah.
is like a little lesson that you can, put up on your wall to always come back, to always be able to reframe when shit goes down.
Yeah.
Who am I?
Yeah.
I'm excellent
Yeah.
and lovely and sweet and fun and people love me. I should go out and pick a flower and tell someone I love them.
Yeah.
I should go and write or should. Not should, get away the word should, but, just reframe.
Yeah, reframe.
Like you were saying, and always bring the joy. Because things went awry when I took it too seriously and there were so many no's and so many almost. It's devastating.
And you let it get on your
And
shine.
then the shine is gone. And it takes a while.
Yeah.
It takes a while to figure out how to build it back.
Yeah.
And ain't nobody got time for that.
And nobody tells you, I suppose.
No
well,
one's-
this is it. We're trying
Because
to get
every
from
single person is trying to figure it out themselves.
Yeah.
So you can listen to podcasts,
Yeah.
and listen to people who have some good advice, but, a little sprinkle of this and a little sprinkle of that. But it does take action and takes dedication. It takes practice.
Yeah.
All the words that we've been saying today.
Exactly. Daily practice.
Daily practice.
To re-offer new habits.
Yeah.
I used to date a philosopher and he said...
Of course you did.
no, casual. Just threw that in there. And he...
FIL.
I'm such a shit speller. I went, yeah, what does come after that? Terrible.
I'm a great speller.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
I will
Champion.
I will never play Scrabble
Yeah, I'm
against
great
you because I'll
speller.
just make you so sad. I'll be
Yeah.
like, I suppose it's cat.
Well, I've
And
got to
you'll
be good
like,
at something, babe.
I love it.
Ah,
But he
go
used
on,
to
please
say
go on.
that a character is just a collection of habits. And I was like,
Oh my God.
so true, right?
It's so true. Oh,
Do you know another amazing thing?
that's on my epitaph. She's just a collection of
just
habits.
a collection of habits.
See ya.
Handful of habits. That's what we called it. Handful of
As
habits.
long as-
It's a song about nuns and prostitutes. Handful of habits. Everybody knows. Why did I go to prostitutes? I think it's because we were talking about prostitutes before, right?
Yes, sure. Yeah. And this is how I'm
We'll just. Is that the reason? Terrible.
Handful of habits.
What? Madonna. Oh, the Madonna and the whore dichotomy. Yes,
She
indeed.
did the nun from
Yes.
Like a
the
virgin.
old trope.
What did he call us?
Different. No, you old
How
trope.
dare you, sir?
I resemble that from us.
I had something else. Oh yeah, no. This is I agree. I absolutely agree with what you just said, T, which is that we spend so long trying to get away from our inner child in our
Yes.
teens and early 20s, really. I spent so long pretending to be more worldly than I was and more jaded than I was because I thought that's what it was to be a grown-up.
Incorrect.
And then I spent so much time trying to get back to what I know is my true essential self, which is a very enthusiastic 5-year-old
Yes.
who is thrilled to be invited to your
Yes.
party.
Yes.
And it is nothing...
Because she brings things like cut off square fairy breads. I'll bring shit to have fun with.
She
Yeah,
does.
we're good people.
She's just so... I
good
think
girl.
she's a good girl, and she also,
She's
I
funny.
think enthusiasm gets kicked out of you in high school. Like enthusiasm becomes a dirty word. Like how dare you be interested in learning?
Yeah.
How dare you be interested in another human being?
Right.
Like God, no, you've got to play against it. You've got to hide all your feelings.
And a bit center of attention because you can't really help it sometimes and people don't like that.
Totally right.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
But enthusiasm, I think, is the most valuable commodity.
Well,
actually.
fuck, I got enthusiasm in spades.
There you go. See.
If nothing else.
I tell you what, this
It'll take
girl-
you a long way.
your capacity to organize a party and to organize things that this is actual stuff that I have learnt through our friendship that I actually quite enjoy an organized game. Never knew this about myself. Never knew it because you enjoy organized games so much and you can set them up and make them happen. And I've often found
I
myself...
can wrangle a crowd.
You absolutely can. I've often found myself standing on the side of your organised games going, yeah, no, I'm not an organised game party person, and then going, oh,
It looks fun.
I mean, maybe I'll just kick it for a bit. And it's lovely. It's wonderful to have a forum
Great.
where enthusiasm is encouraged
Great.
and pure play.
I
mean,
love
what
that.
a skill. What
I
a
love
skill.
that.
Bloody hell can tea make a party.
What is it? ASM?
ASMR.
ASMR. I've been on set actually with Will when he's been doing his, fancy acting things, and I have because he gets paid to do it. He's so lucky.
Holy shit.
I can't figure it out.
We pay to do it, don't we?
I would pay to do it. Yeah, absolutely. I will pay you to put
You
me
get
on
paid for
TV.
this? Oh my God.
Fuck, if only that were a thing. I'd be more broke than I am now. This microphone was expensive. Do you want a snake?
Yes, please.
But there's actors, and I have learnt that because I come from stage. I'm an old board treader.
Yes.
But there's television acting where if you're standing there, just like 6 feet away from the actual actors
Yes.
on mic and on camera,
Yeah.
and they're having a whole conversation that's like, and I can't hear you.
Yeah. No.
But that's a thing.
Yeah.
Because I think it actually helps your accent a little bit, especially being Australian.
Oh, yeah.
bring it down?
To bring it close.
Because we talk real loud. But if you
yeah,
like talk really slow and like a little bit lighter and drop it right down, your American accent's a little bit easier.
Like, why not? Yeah.
But then how do you do it?
I always think about the camera. The camera is like a lover's gaze, and it's a lover's gaze when you've just woken up in the morning. Like the camera is this close to you. Then that's why you can't. That's why you can't. Like the camera sees a lie.
Yeah.
That's why. If you know you're not doing good work, the camera can see it because it's right.
If you know,
fucking there.
because your little voice is in there.
Yes.
That little voice.
But it's weird, of course, because all acting is lying. But
Yeah.
it's just about whether you know yourself that you are lying.
So the only way to get around that then, I mean, I have found is just preparing it so much that you can get lost in it. I mean, if you've got like a 1 day preparation, because I do have that little voice that pops up and I'm always trying to find out how you entrench yourself so much into the moment, which is difficult sometimes when you're in an audition room because no one's giving a fuck why you're there. This is wrong. This is it. This is all these different things that are very distracting. So how do you have any little tips for the trade?
Well, I mean, the thing that I loved the most is the Bryan Cranston one, which is where he says, I was so eager to work. I was so eager to get a chance to work that I would go into audition rooms and all you could smell was like, give me a chance, give me a chance, give me a chance to do my job. And he said the thing that totally reframed that for him was him going, oh, this is the work. This is the work. Okay, so great. So go in there, do your work, play, listen, do your craft that you've trained to do, and then let it go because that was the work.
That's the work.
It's a really beautiful way to think about it.
Very
Can
much
I do
so.
it? I don't know, but I fucking love to think about it like that.
So great when you do though. What a score.
Audition.
Yeah, I'm liking them a bit more.
After being here for a little bit, I started living that way.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, it's just a chance to be on show.
Yeah.
Show, bud.
Yeah. Welcome to the gun show. Don't
It's
mind.
true. When you do frame it like that, reframe it like that, because it's not just about getting the job, because they will remember you. Even though when my mum says that, I'm so annoyed. I'm like, well, you never know. I'm like, fuck it. It's not. Okay, sure. Thanks for the support. But, it's they never forget good work. And you are not right for everything or most things.
Yeah,
But
true.
you will walk into that room and you've seen that casting director 10 times and they're like, this is your role. Yep, there it is. And it's a done deal.
Yeah, great.
So it is the work.
Yeah.
The work is showing up.
But that's the thing too that we were talking
doing
about,
good
the
work.
bear claw, isn't it? That I
Yeah.
mean, and it's such an old trope, to use an old trope.
You old
You
trope.
get a t-shirt that says dirty old trope.
I will also get a t-shirt if you're
Dirty
making
old
them.
trope, dirty old trope.
I really want but that it's journey, not destination stuff. You got to find joy in the journey. You got to find like that everything, the process has got to be valuable in and of itself. Otherwise, you're always working towards a goal that you might not get to.
It reminds me of something that my yoga
Say it.
I don't know if I can say the word
You
guru.
absolutely can. It's the technical
It's a
term
thing.
for
It's
yoga.
like he hates the word manifest.
Oh,
He hates it.
really?
But
I quite like it when you said it like that. Oh,
yeah,
ASMR.
right? Yeah, has
ASMR is autonomous, sensory, meridian response.
That has not helped us at all.
autonomous sensory meridian response.
It's that sensation that, that prickly tingle.
So it sends
It
a
starts at the top of your scalp and you go, ooh. That's that.
Oh, that has helped a
like
lot.
paddle
Yeah,
pop
right.
sticks on your bottom teeth.
No, in a good way, right? Oh, is that a good feeling for you?
No, it's that little
It's
shiver.
the good one. Like when we said something, what did we say? Something that was good before that made you go goosebumpy.
It was about the beer.
Oh, was it about the beer? Didn't we say something?
Zoe Kravitz does a
No, I thought we said
beer.
something. I thought you and I came to a
what was that?
revelation. I don't
I wish
know.
I'd written it down. We'll just had a rewind there. We'll get the desk boy to go back.
Also, just desk boy. So just tweet in
desk
and
boy.
tell us. You tell us. That's it. That's engagement. Engagement with your listeners. Go on. Tell us.
Put a link.
I can't.
Point and say there'll be a link.
There'll be a link here.
There'll be
Just
a
tell
link
us,
to that
Tell us
thing.
what made Teresa have goosebumps.
Oh, see, this is the business of it that I'm not very
Yes.
good at.
There you go.
There's a whole other thing about, you know,
Engagement.
audience
Reach.
engagement.
Yeah.
Bringing traffic.
Hey, what do we think about this? I've got a question for you. Tell me
Yes.
what you think.
Yes.
Willie Wilbur, also you. So there's this thing now. So everybody's looking at your Instagram page and everybody's looking at your sort of your supplementary materials. Do we think that in the future, I mean, I see some people doing it too. Like if they're auditioning for a show in the music theatre world, they'll often put up them singing other songs by the same artist, or they'll put up a version of them singing it at a gala. They'll offer supplementary materials, and I remember getting a bit like, oh, that's a bit on the nose, but I actually think it might be the future. Now, I think there's
Platforms will separate into, well, this is for your friends and this is for your new LinkedIn. This is how to get
right.
work.
I mean, it almost is LinkedIn, isn't it?
This is a resume.
It's just, I mean, I just have seen it so many times of people who are directing or producing have gone to like show me somebody's face from
On
Instagram,
Instagram.
and then have gone, oh, video. Oh my God, she can sing that. Yeah, right.
Oh, really?
I mean, I'm intrigued
good to know.
by it. I'm really
Okay.
intrigued by it, and I think, I mean,
It's
I
going
had
to
a
be like Botox. Everyone's just going to just jump
exactly it.
into jump. Yeah.
it'll be the
jump
new
into
normal.
Instagram.
And I remember, I remember I cast a guy in a short film that I made, which I fucking loved.
Paper
doing.
cut.
Paper cut. She does her research. I'll
The
tell you
horror
what.
comedy about a
Did you?
Yeah.
toxic masculinity and a wayward printer.
Demented printer.
Demented
yes.
printer.
Yes. I mean, obvious story.
Duh.
For
There's a dirty old trope.
there is a dirty old track. Oh, the old demented printer again. Please, Shakespeare, no.
Oh, Hewlett Packard.
Yeah, so that I remember, because I was working with Keegan Joyce at the time, and I absolutely loved him, but all the roles that he was playing in the show that I was doing with him were like sweet, gentle roles, and I needed an asshole. I needed a dickhead. And I remember going to his Instagram page and just looking through it, and there was this photo of him with like a dirty moustache and like a mid-distance gaze, and I was like,
That's him.
you could be an asshole. You could be a misogynist. You could be a. I mean, I think it's happening.
So this is what casting directors, and this is why when we go into a room, we're like, how come you can't possibly think or imagine that I could be this other thing?
Yeah.
You know, people, unless you see it, no, hair's too long. You can cut it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, I think it's the way. But also, I think what is really important, again, as we were saying, you can't fake it. So you can smell it when people are trying to present an
You're
image that is
right.
untrue.
Looking for authenticity.
Exactly. And also, I mean, because Instagram, because social media is so much about authenticity and vulnerability and engagement in that way. Like, I mean, look at the incredible stuff that Celeste Barber is doing, where she like unpacks everything that Instagram is.
That's
like,
true.
It's extraordinary.
Yeah.
And she's found her entirely own platform for exactly how funny she is.
Yeah.
In exactly the way
she is remarkable.
Like, she has-
Yeah, how she's done that is.
She has made her own perfect forum.
Yeah.
It's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Because she was on All Saints with us and she was criminally underused.
Yeah.
Criminally. I think that is the technical term. It was outrageous.
Well, because she needed time to create this.
That's it. And also technology needed to catch up with her. We didn't
That's
have
right.
Instagram. I remember Andy Supant saying, you should join this new thing called Facebook. And me going, no, thank you.
I'll stick with MySpace. Thanks very much.
Well, I made a song.
What? You want,
Oh,
Napster's
no.
this new app. You want to see it?
Naps.
Napster? Remember Napster? What?
I remember Napster.
Was it not an app? Oh, that's how much I didn't invest in it.
Little sweet. Yes, love.
Speaking of investing in, it's very hot in here.
Why
That
do I feel so cool? I'm wearing a literal sheep's mane.
you're so.
That's not the phrase. Hey, I got catcalled the other day.
Did
but
you?
Not in a bad way. I
Oh,
got.
you liked it.
Well, I got catcalled, and
Here
this
you go.
guy
This is how you do it right.
You say lion's fleece now?
Lions.
Bring me the head with a lion's fleece, and we will take the mountain. Ha ha! Sorry, that will have peaked. I really apologise.
It's perfect.
Walter gave me this look like, what are you doing?
What the-
You're acting again. Oh, yes.
You're acting.
This guy slowed down his car
Oh.
and stuck his head out the window. And I was like, oh, God, here we go. This will be awful. And he went, look at that mane. And I went, drove on. And I was like, that's fair.
Hello.
That's fair. That's fair. It is a mane. Like, it's a full mane.
It's a cat mane. Is that what you called it? I have a sheep mane. That's right.
It is curly.
Look at your literal sheep mane.
That sounds like I've got sheep mange. Oh, God, look at your sheep mange.
It's a real thing. We're going to talk about that now.
Terrible. You got to put him through the dip, right?
Oh, yeah, it's awful.
I also used to date a farmer.
Yeah.
I know things about dip now. I know one thing.
Tell me what you know about dip.
You got to put sheep through it.
Oh, great.
That's all I've got.
It's not okay. The dip, it's not fun stuff.
Oh, really? Well, this is two actual farm kids. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I've been through a dip. Who hasn't been through a dip?
What?
You haven't been
parents
through a
just-
dip?
Parents just send you through?
Oh, no, my sister sent me through.
That is abuse. It's
She
terrible.
also jammed my head in between the banisters and I couldn't get them out because I harpooned myself with my ears and she left me there all afternoon while she played with her friends and told my mum and dad, I love my sister, but really...
That is about... Did they have to butter your ears? To
Yeah.
Is that how?
That doth butter no parsnips.
I don't know what happened.
English expression.
Some English expression about that
That-
doth butter no parsnips.
Sure.
And it's really, it
Never
tickled,
heard it, but I
tickled
love it.
our mutual fancies. This paper cut, this film that
Yes.
the horror
Yeah.
comedy you did, you very heavily invited women
Yes.
to come
yes.
on board as
Yes.
cast and crew, mostly the crew, right?
Mostly the crew. So it happened. The story happened. The basis of the story happened to a female friend of mine. She was alone.
She got a
late
paper
at night. It was a comma horror.
Awful.
I'm fine to drive. She was alone late at night in a computer lab, and the printer started printing, and the first thing that came out was 3 minutes, and she was like,
3 minutes, what? It
just
printed
said,
3
"It
minutes.
printed 3 minutes.
Oh,
This
stop
actually
it. The
happened.
words 3 minutes.
3 minutes, and she was horrified. Of course, absolutely
I
terrifying.
just got
And-
ASMR.
there we go. And then I asked her permission to use this story, and I used some of her music in the film. She's an incredible musician called Magnets. Incredible song called Fight, which we should link to. Engagement. Click here.
Magnets.
Magnets.
Fight. What's her name?
Her name is Siobhan.
Siobhan
I
with a
think I've
BH.
said that right. Yes. Sometimes I get startled because there's
Sorry.
so many other letters.
Of course there is.
Yes.
In the
Siobhan.
word Siobhan.
Siobhan. Great. Magnets. And so this incredible story happened to her. And I was like, when I want to tell this story, I want to gender flip it because I'm so tired of seeing women
Women in
terrorized
fear.
in horror films.
Great.
And I wanted to make this guy a real bastard, and I wanted to make this guy a guy who said things at the beginning of the film like, you know, women are fucking victims.
Great.
And I wanted him to feel the fear of the everyday that we feel all the time. The reason that we walk through a car park with our keys through our fist.
That's
Because
right.
we are taught that we have to fear the everyday because there's so much violence in the world against us.
Of course.
So I wanted to teach him that. So for that sort of metaphor to be overarching, I also wanted as many women as possible on the crew. And it was
Great.
thrilling. I have an incredible female DOP called Sky. She's incredible. She's fabulous. I'll link to her stuff too. She's brilliant.
Do you sorry.
Yes.
Do you think that that's him? I mean, obviously your answer is going to be yes, but for women, then you know that young girl we're talking to who's coming to Hollywood.
Yes.
Like I feel that that's an important way forward. You know, to stick with your sisters, to not be competitive with your sisters, but to invite them to
Yep.
create with you is
Yeah.
how we stay confident,
Yeah.
how we stay empowered, and how we stay in love.
I was taught growing up that there might be one seat at the table for a woman. That's what I was taught. There
Oh.
might be. And so I was taught that you sort of needed to
Run to it.
yeah,
before
run
the
to
music
it
stops.
and make sure that I mean, I think I was just at the end of this feeling, but I remember watching it and going like, oh, this doesn't feel like the right way. Watching people and going, oh, she has been taught that there's only one seat at the table, therefore she has to get rid of the other women.
Yes.
And in
it's
fact,
not
it
true.
is not the case. And also,
The opposite is true.
the dream is, and I think we're seeing it now.
Are you talking quieter because we don't want to give the
because
game
it's
away?
Really true.
Yeah.
No, I'll give the game away. I just want everybody to feel it.
Listen.
The dream is that you have the power to set the table now. So you skip the, you know what I mean? It's not about getting that one seat and thinking I've made it and now I'm with the boys and I'm one of the boys.
And we'll serve
It's going,
figs.
yes, all figs, creamy figs.
All.
It's going, I have the power to make this table and I can put as many seats there as I
Yeah.
like and I will get all the best people.
Yeah.
And that's
Male
how
or
we'll-
women.
Exactly.
Young or old.
Male or women. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm going to talk pretty one day.
But that's it. Now we set the table.
Yeah.
And I love that. I fucking love that. And I strongly agree. I've never felt more thrilled and empowered than when I realized that I can also, I'm not only thrilled to be at your party, I can also invite you to my party.
Absolutely.
And it's wonderful to have all the best people at your party.
Listen, I'll come to your party anytime. I don't care, even if you're just serving a couple of, bloody fairy breads, I'll be at your party any minute. And I have no doubt that whatever your, bear claw path may be, up, down, around, sideways, you're always going to be delivering something that's authentic and a joy to watch. And I'm your biggest fan.
Tea.
And you're an extraordinary alien. And thank you so much for...
Thank you so much for having me, T. This is so lovely. Also, good wall colour, babe.
Isn't it a good wallpaper?
bloody nailed it.
It's only the 5th time we painted it this month. Thank you so much to everyone who's watching. Please like and subscribe. And if you know an extraordinary alien that you really want to get here on the show, let
Will
me know.
Travail. Get Will Travail.
We're working on it.
You need some more ladies.
We need
that's
some more
cool.
ladies. Yeah,
Aaron. Get Aaron Cahill.
absolutely.
Oh my God, greatest
We're
woman.
moving into the Americans. This is very Australian centric for now.
Of course it is too.
Yeah.
I just was like, get Aaron.
Yeah, get Aaron.
She's the best thing ever.
Love you guys. Stay extraordinary. And be an alien if you want to be.
Extraordinary.